Okay, so I just wanted to do a quick video to show you how to make like a pen or pencil holder or any type of box that you can literally just throw small items into, like change, even your keys, paint brushes, makeup brushes, anything. And these are good to make if you're trying to use like leftover acrylics and you don't have enough to make a full box. This set I got actually is missing one piece. So it came with one of the 10 centimeters and then 19 of the 5s. So I'm literally going to have 3 left over after I'm done with this, but I decided to just make pretty much a box without a lid. That way I can get them used up for now. So anyways, you can pretty much do these with any sizes that you have. You just basically make 5 sides. So I'm just kind of laid mine out, made sure I had different characters. And now I'm just going to kind of glue everything together. These are like the easiest boxes to make. And usually if you want to make like a whole bunch of them, I mean, you can get a good amount out of a bag of acrylics too. And these are, you know, pretty popular for people who work in office, have a desk, and they want to have a cool little pen pencil holder made from one of their characters they really like from an anime or whatever they want. So again, I use E6000. I do have a cool little tip on mine. It didn't come with it. I got it from somebody that I get acrylics from on TikTok. On Amazon, they do sell the E6000 with precision tips. I did get those from the very beginning when I first started learning how to make boxes. They work really well, and I would suggest getting those. If you don't have a special tip on your glue, we all know how fast and how much E6000 glue comes out of the bottle. So you could just use it, but you'd have to run it along the acrylic pretty fast. And then once you put your pieces together, you're going to need to use some paper towels and wipe off the excess glue that kind of seeps out from when you put it together. I wouldn't recommend using super glue unless you've been making boxes for a while and you're pretty fast at putting them together. Because once you get that super glue on, it's going to dry really fast and you have no time at all to fix any type of mistakes. So I'm basically just taking one of the pieces and I'm gluing on the side and the bottom, so that way I don't have to worry about putting too much glue on any other pieces. And typically when I'm doing boxes like this, as long as I let the acrylic set for like 10 to 15 minutes so it starts getting that tacky feeling and the acrylic is not going to fall off when I move it, I can actually start putting the walls together. And then I just kind of let the whole box as a whole dry together. Usually if I'm making a bigger box, I will wait until the next day so that way it has time to actually dry and be really solid. But this one's going to be a pretty easy box because it's literally only going to have 5 sides. Okay, so just push them together. I always push down and push them together. You can use a ruler. I have an acrylic bookmark that I'll use and kind of push my acrylics against it just to make sure everything is straight if I can't line it up correctly. But I do that once I get them all adhered. And I'll just run my paper towel along here. Always keep the film on until the very end, because I have done plenty of mistakes where I've had to take acrylics and pull them apart, and it's awful if you don't have the film on. Okay, so that one looks straight. And these steps are pretty much the exact same steps that you would do just making a normal box, except there's just no lid. That's going to be the only difference. So we don't have to worry about hinges or knobs or anything like that with this one. You can also get the round circular acrylics also and use that for like the base of your pencil holder. And it'll just create like a circular shape. It's pretty cool to use. You kind of get a different look than just doing squares. I do have some of the horoscope, like the zodiac sign, circular acrylics, but I just don't really have anything that's a square shape that would go with it to make one of those boxes. I did find the squares of the horoscope zodiac signs, but I don't want to buy them yet. Okay, so I'm going to let this set for about like 10 minutes or so, and then I'm going to come back in and I'm going to actually just start throwing it together. That way you can see how easy it is to build them. And if you've never made a normal box, like just a regular box before, you'll be able to see the steps because it's the exact same thing. It's just no lid. So we'll let this dry and then I'll be right back. Okay, so everything is glued enough. This piece is going to be the bottom. So we're going to need to take the top film off to glue everything on. For the rest of the box, the design part is going to go on the outside, like this. So you want to take this film off. I will wait till the very end to take this off, just in case you make a mistake. Okay, so flip these over. And some people will use another piece of an acrylic and just kind of push up like on it. I don't do that. Doesn't really work good for me. So I just use tweezers. Tweezers are easy. I just kind of use the side of them. Okay, so I'm going to get these taken off and then we're going to get it put together and it'll be done. And when you are using acrylics like this, that are the laser printed, and you make a mistake or get glue on the acrylic and you try to scrape it off a little bit with your tweezers, it's going to really show more than it would on a different type, kind of like how that's a little different. I mean, it is still a little bit of a laser, but you just gotta go slow, be careful, because it's really hard to fix mistakes when you deal with the laser print acrylics. Okay, so the last one we need to do is the bottom. So this is a 10 cm and these are 5s. You could do an 8 and 4s, however you want to do it. I'm going to wait until the very end when everything is dried to get the bottom piece off. I always like taking the film off the very bottom after everything is dried, or even before, like, let's say I sell it, I would wait until then to take the rest of the acrylics off so that way I don't have to worry about anything getting scratched. Okay, so we're going to start with the back and the front. Just like you do a regular box, your back and your front panels you glue on the top of the acrylic. And then your side panels, you're going to glue along the edge of the bottom and then along the edge of the other panel, so it kind of rests on it. I found if you glue the side walls on top of the acrylic and then the front and the back panel on the sides, it leaves a bigger gap when you put your lid on. This one is not going to have a lid, but I still follow the same pattern, whether I make a regular box or I'm doing pencil pen holders like this. Okay, so if you put a good amount of glue on here, it usually will stand up with no problem. Once you get the front and the back panel on, you can kind of turn it over on its side and then glue the sides of them on. I always wait until it gets a little bit tacky before I move it. Okay, so design on the outside. And make sure we're at the edge. I would just hold it for a minute till it kind of gets a little tacky, because if it's still kind of runny, your acrylic will slide around and then you'll get glue everywhere. Okay, so we got that one. And sometimes I'll move it around. And sometimes if you have the edge seeping out in the front, you can get it off later with your tweezers. Okay, so now we're going to glue the other panel. Okay. We'll just let it sit for a minute. And I kind of just press down a little bit on the top part. And once I know it's not falling over, I'll do this and then flip it over on its side. When you have it on the side, you can adjust the walls, or the panels I should say, to make sure they're straight. Okay, so now we're going to put glue all along these three edges. I don't come all the way up to the top. I do leave like a little gap because it doesn't reach the top all the way. So you don't want that glue to show. And these types of boxes, even if you had a lid, are one of the most easiest boxes to make. I practiced making regular boxes a lot before I started trying to do other designs. That way you can understand the concept of how everything works, how you have to line all the pieces up. Okay. And then just barely push down on the sides and the bottom. And then sometimes I'll even add some extra glue on the bottom parts after everything's dry, just to make sure it's nice and secure. Okay. And we're going to do the other side. Okay, let's make sure this is straight. Okay. Sometimes it likes to move around. Perfect. All right. Now you want to make sure everything is straight before you put the last panel on. Okay. And I even did boxes like this for Halloween acrylics and Christmas acrylics. And then I put a battery operated candle on the inside of it. So that way the light just kind of shimmers through the acrylics. It's a really pretty and easy way to do decorations too. I have some of the Grinch acrylics that I think I might do that with also. Okay. All right. Easy peasy. And that's a pretty good size. It'll fit a lot of stuff in there. So yeah, that's a basic box style without a lid. Really easy to make. And then you just let it dry overnight, and then you'll peel the rest of the acrylic, the film off the acrylics, and you're done.